How many of you have children who lie? Just about all of us, right? I'm about to give you a formula for lying that if you will use it consistently for the next 2 weeks, everyone's getting choked up when I start talking about lying. Coughing, throat's clearing. If you will use it consistently for the next 2 weeks, I will guarantee you a 50% reduction in your child's lying behavior. Now, I would say a total elimination, which I know that may occur, but I'm going to let that surprise you. Because I've had several parents who've tried this technique once, and they said, I tried that lying technique, and my child hasn't lied to me since. I had one mom who said, I had 2 adopted children, and they always lied. She said, I tried that, and not only have my 2 children been lying to me less, they've been catching themselves when they tell a lie. Oh, you know I'm just joking, Mom. Right? She said, the other day, my son came to me, and he said, Mom, how much does one of Sarah's dolls cost? And I said, honey, I don't know. Why? He said, because I was playing with one, and I broke it, and I'm going to have to buy her another one. Mom said my jaw hit the ground, because 3 weeks ago, he would have broken that toy, buried it in the bottom of that toy chest, and we wouldn't have found it till 6 months later. Then no one would have known what had happened. Guaranteed effectiveness. And you don't hear that very often. As a matter of fact, you don't ever hear it in this field. The formula for helping children overcome lying is very simple. It's called ignore the lie, don't ignore the child. Ignore the lie, don't ignore the child. And this is what it looks like. You see little Johnny sitting there chewing that chocolate chip cookie. Let's say he's 9 years old. Chewing that chocolate chip cookie, and he knows he wasn't supposed to have gotten that chocolate chip cookie. And you say, Johnny, did you take the cookie? And of course he says yes. Of course he doesn't. He lies and says, no. What the heck are you talking about? The first most important piece of this formula lies right here. When Johnny tells a lie, it is our state level that gets triggered. When Johnny tells a lie, we get stressed out first. We get stressed out because our state level always told us when we were children, we learned at our state level, what's buried at our state level is if you tell a lie, what happens? You get in trouble. Whatever that trouble may have been for you. So that's at our state level. So all of a sudden, our state level just popped out. And we say, don't lie to me. Just tell me the truth. Now, you have to understand, children, just like adults, lie from fear and stress. The only time we lie, even a little white lie, is when we are scared, when we are stressed. Children with trauma histories lie out of survival. They lie out of survival. Because what's buried at their state level? Something very ugly, right? Something horrible, something beyond many of your comprehensions. As far as their abuses and their neglects. So that's all buried at their state level. Well, in the midst of stress, their state level comes up too. And then their misperception of what's going on in the distortion of their thinking is that if I don't lie to you, then the worst thing that ever happened to me is going to happen again. Get that one? If I don't lie to you, the worst thing that ever happened to me is going to happen again. Because my state level says all these scary, scary things are down here. And so you've just caught me doing something which I'm not supposed to be doing. And now, if I don't tell you this lie and convince you that I'm not eating this chocolate chip cookie, that I'm just chewing my tongue or eating dirt, then the worst thing that ever happened to me is about to happen again. Because stress causes confused and distorted thinking and suppresses short-term memory. You're no longer my mommy, you're a threat to my survival. Now this is serious. This is really serious business. You are a threat to my survival. If I don't convince you that I'm telling the truth by lying to you, I might die. I might die. My life depends on me lying to you right now. And that's why it's called crazy lying. Because one, these children will lie about anything and everything because it's not about the lie. It's about the stress and the fear they're experiencing in the moment. And two, they'll lie so convincingly, they'll make you step back and go, now is he really lying? Make you question yourself. Once the child has told you the lie and you are able to get in check your own state level stress, you move to the child and say, honey, everything's going to be okay. For foster and adopted children, you say, you're all right and you're not going anywhere. Do you understand? They shake their head in awe. And then you walk away. You wait 1 or 2 hours later. And then you come back right in the middle of her. Go ahead and be doing some writing, Carly. Right in the middle of her writing, you say, honey, when you tell Dad a lie, baby, it really scares me. It hurts me. I need you to know that you can trust me and everything's going to be all right. Do you understand? And then it's done. Did you hear what I said? I came back and I said, honey, when you tell Dad a lie, it hurts me. And if you could have seen Carly's face, she almost broke into tears. She almost broke into tears because it went right to her heart. There was no defensiveness. I said, when you tell me a lie. I didn't say, when you lied to me. I didn't say, now, honey, tell me the truth. I didn't say that because that goes back and pulls that state level back out. But when I come back and I say, honey, when you tell me a lie, it really hurts, Daddy. And I need you to know you can trust me and everything's going to be okay. That is the essence of discipline. The definition of discipline, Jazan actually disciplined her child. The definition of discipline is to teach, not to punish. If what you're doing is effective, you won't have to keep doing it. If what you're doing is working, you won't have to keep doing it. So when you ignore the lie but don't ignore the child and you can really do it, then your child will not keep lying and you won't have to keep ignoring. Because you'll be creating at that state level a positive, repetitious experience. And that's how that brainstem, that's how that amygdala learns that when I am stressed out, and here's Mom, I can actually feel safe because I know everything's going to be okay. And I can say, Mom, I did take it. I did take it. Are you going to tell him I did? Are you going to tell him I took it? Because the security is in the relationship.